What is the second coming, Brother Rasaji? I mean, there's so many people talking about the second coming. What does the Lamasery, say about it? And what do you say about it? Someone that's actually been in heaven, someone that's actually had multiple conversations with the Christ and other beings that have come on this planet and done unbelievable things. Tell everybody, what the Lamasery thinks, but what also you think and what your
Well,
discernment.
I had the privilege and the honor one day being meditating on that same mountain that Christ meditated on at 24 when I was about actually 22 years old. And it was my first year in India. And I was getting back to the roots of Tai Chi Gong, as we know, comes from three yoga disciplines. And the ancient Indians believed that not only the earth, but all of creation was created from that spot. So, whether anybody believes that or not, let me tell you, of all the portals I have been on the planet, and I've been to a dozen portals in this planet in this life alone, it was by far the strongest portal. I would look out even at 3D and you would see 4 and 5D overlapping, and you would see vegetation just moving like this. It was the most incredible thing. But during that time, I also had the experience of being taken by Abba to creation and showed that. And I saw a conversation happening to Master Rabbi Jesus and Abba, and I got to experience that also. So I actually know what the covenant was, and I witnessed it firsthand in heaven. If you want to keep it simple, and what the Lamasery has affirmed that second coming really has tied into second birth, and the second birth was partly what Jesus was trying to demonstrate all throughout his incarnation. He was going through the Kundalini experience very, very early, even before puberty, which is actually unheard of. Almost nobody ever goes through the Kundalini experience. And most people, they're in their 40s and 50s, and normally Kundalini is stimulated a lot of times out of great loss. Usually a loved one was killed in front of you, or a lot of times some PTSD like a soldier would experience in warfare. One of the greatest examples of that was one of the books we recommended in the Circle of Chi, the Maharishi, that was about Sri Tapas Vidya, that he went into second birth after being a warrior for 30 years, came home one day at 55, and his only child and his wife had died to what was the symptoms of like a scarlet fever at the time. It wiped him out, and he didn't want to live, and it brought his death urge immediately up to surface. And he went to the governor of Delhi at the time, who was his uncle. And the governor he said, "Hand me your sword." And so Sri Tapas Vidya, the great yoga master, hands him a sword, and his uncle hands him the mala garlands and says, "This is going to be your sword now for the rest of your life." Well, he's happy to do that because it's documented that warrior who gave his life to Abba ends up living to 185 years old, Jimmy,
Wow.
and loves the art of a generation. So even though his spiritual life didn't even start to his 55 or 60 years old, Abba taught him all he needed to know, including the kata kappa, which is the art of regeneration. Kata kappa Sanskrit for the art of regeneration. And the guy grew in his mature years over 3 more sets of new teeth.
Wow.
Regrew his hair 4 different times by going through a series of 18 months of meditation, put in almost a hobbit situation where he's in the earth to get all the earth's energy, and was given milk and herbs on a daily basis to regenerate. And some of these herbs down the road we'll be sharing with some of our members and stuff. And these regenerated a lot of things in his body. And today is considered, I mean, there's been a shrine made in his honor, a true holy man. And that's how it was done then.